Maybe then you could just start with, you know what you started with the steam and kind of go through the what's not.
Well, what's not steam, what is new that we've added to this whole remodel area is what we've basically done is added a Daikin heating and cooling system. The condensers are located out here on the little shelf off the little landing out there. And we've added, I think, multiple, I can't remember exactly how many little air handlers we have piped up in the attic up there. But they're all direct drive motors, sealed motors, with basically the only maintenance you're gonna have on those is gonna be your filter changes. And you can gauge that however you guys do that, once a month, or come and check them in a month and see if it's a 2-month change or whatever it is. They are in the attic and they are up high, so you could adjust that filter changing. The HRVs are located in the attic space too. Those are also newly added to the building. And they have belt-driven motors in them with a heat exchange element. It's square, has a little handle on it. You just pull it right out of the unit. Those need to be cleaned periodically, check the belt periodically. It also has filters on it, pre-filters that need to be cleaned and changed periodically. And we've also added an AON system down into the plumbing room in the basement, and it has its own standalone condensing unit out there on the landing. It's the only AON that's out there. Basically, for your maintenance out there, all you're gonna have to do, all the motors are sealed, and I'd go up there once every 6 months and see if you need to spray the coils out on them, on the outdoor units, and that's really all the maintenance there is on those.
And what's it providing service to?
It provides service to this whole upstairs area here. It also provides a data room that's in the basement area.
Oh, clear down.
Yeah, all the way in the basement. The AON unit serves that plumbing area that's right next to the data room in the basement. And that's all of our heat pump type stuff out here. We also have 2 air handlers in the crawl down there that are hooked up to Bobby's radiant heating system.
They're building like the Mac room and the lobby area.
Yes, sir. And they're basically gonna, just the hardest thing on those is gonna be getting to them to change the filters on them.
Now the AON unit, that's refrigeration?
Yes, sir.
And that runs year round just because of the data room? Or?
Yep.
Okay, and that's protected down to, you said, -22?
The Daikin system is -22 degrees. I'd have to double check on the AON, but I'm sure it's specifically designed to serve that data
I know
room.
for a week we were below -30 here, so.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So those are all gonna be new things that this winter you guys have to be really on top of watching to see what is it working and what isn't, because chances are good.
Exactly, and that's something we could probably get in touch with the manufacturers on, being our special situation that we have here, and I'm sure they work with us, you know, and try to help us achieve what we're trying to achieve here.
Okay.
So, and as you get calls like from downstairs, it says, hey, it's hot in here. There are areas that are air conditioned and there are areas that aren't air conditioned, is that right?
As far as I know, all the air conditioning we added was basically up here for the data room, for the plumbing room downstairs. I don't know what we got for cooling on the 2 that are in the crawl down there. I don't know what's hooked up to that for cooling. I didn't
I don't
leave.
think there's any cooling down there.
Okay.
See, what's driving that is because we just turned the Haynes building up recently and we get complaints from everybody over there in their offices that they're hot this summer. Well, it was never designed with air conditioning.
Gotcha.
So there'll be a lot of misconception, but you guys need to be very clear about where there is air conditioning, where there isn't air conditioning, because if you're running over here because somebody's hot, it may not be anything you can do to tell them to open the window. We don't want to be doing that 15 times. We
Sounds
need to
like
make sure that
the air is just up here and then those few rooms in the basement.
That's
Should we
what I
have a training
understand.
class for people when they come and check in, that when they turn their thermostat up to 9?
it
and-
doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the 2 management offices behind the front desk
Front
aren't
desk,
air
they're
conditioned.
not.
The gift shop is not air
Yeah.
conditioned. So those will be pieces that you guys need to understand so you can head these off in the pass.
Yeah, because the gift shop used to have a swamp cooler.
And then when they get cold up here in the winter, you need to be able to see whether the heat pumps are actually efficient enough to do it or not, and then bring in the electric space heaters and put in this multi-million-dollar space. Geez, that's a terrible idea. Anyway, go ahead. It helps us to know what's different.
Yes.
Totally different.
That's all the cooling we've installed, and that's another thing you might want to touch base with Johnson Controls this afternoon when they get here, as far as your thermostat operation. Several of these things are tied together up in this area, so, and they'll be able to tell you exactly which ones control which. These are our Daikin heat pump condensing units right here. All the motors in them are sealed. They're going to require periodical cleaning on the coil outside when they get dusty or full of cottonwood or whatever. Other than that, they're pretty much maintenance free. This is our Aeon unit right here.
What do these two do? These are the
heating and cooling for the upstairs here, the whole upstairs area right here.
And is there a circuit diagram somewhere so we know that if
Yes, Johnson Controls should be able to tell you exactly which
zones are
ones.
off of which?
Exactly, and
So
like
we
I
know which
said,
one to look at. Yeah.
some of those heads and some of those thermostats will be on one system and some of those will be on another system. And he can explain the operation as far as the thermostats and the heating and cooling
These are
sequences.
the same two then that go downstairs to those couple rooms to cool?
One of these
One
goes down to that data room downstairs. It's still hooked into this.
And
Why
roof
that's
access?
the roof access, as far as I know, is going to be one of these windows.
Yeah.
That's how they had it for us. That's your Daikin heat pumps. This is your Aeon system here. This is the one that cools the plumbing area in the, I'll show you the air handler in the basement down there. But the data room's here and your plumbing area is right there. That Aeon air handler is in that area. And that is all that this condenser serves. So that is a standalone system by itself. That one there it is. And that's pretty much for it for my condensers out on the land in here. Plastic cover off. What these are our Daikin VRV heat pump units, condensing units. VRV stands for variable refrigerant flow. Has a DC compressor in it that can ramp up, ramp down all the way. That's why we can do so many heads with one unit. All this right here is basically your service operation. There's the instructions on this inside panel right here. Tell you how to operate the three little buttons, the dip switches up there, right below that LED display on that. This will give you your evacuation procedures if you want to pump down the condensing unit. It'll tell you which button to hit in there, does it all itself. It'll also give you trouble codes. Another resource that you have with these is that you can always go online to daikindoctor.com and punch in your model number, serial number, and it'll give you instant access to their service department. And they're very, very good.
Yeah, well, tell me.
And that right there pretty much gives you the whole breakdown of that operation of that board. And that's basically that's all you really need to focus on, is those buttons right there will tell you if anything's wrong with it. It'll tell you how to pump it down. I mean, it does, that whole list right there pertains to those buttons on that LED display there.
And that's just those 4 screws you removed.
Yep, just take out the 4 screws of that panel and pop it off. Now, if you do want to take off this inside panel, it has a special set of instructions right there how to do that. You've got to take the screws out, pull the center out towards you, pull the thing down till you see the top, and then you can pop the top out. But you'll want to reference those instructions before you do that. And basically that's it. There's no maintenance. The motors are sealed motors. You don't oil them.
So the only thing we're changing is the filters on
Exactly, yeah, and I wouldn't recommend putting your gauges on it unless you get online with with daikindoctor.com and they tell you to put your gauges on it, because the way these operate is much different than a traditional type AC system. The pressures will be different under different circumstances, under different demands. Yeah, it won't be like your standard 40-degree coil here. And
Now you're checking with just a manometer
on the filters, no, we're just visually checking those. You can look at them. I'll walk you guys up and show you those things, and it's just a pretty little easy pop-out filter. I recommend checking them once a month to begin with. If they're dirty at 30 days, I would just put them on a 30-day schedule. If they're not too dirty in 30 days, I'd let them run 60 days and come back and check them on a 60-day schedule. I would just play it that way because all of our returns are pretty high, so it's not going to suck a lot of dirt and stuff once this place is occupied.
New and then all the construction. going on
Exactly.
first time probably gets-
Yeah, well, we've already changed them
Oh,
once,
okay.
so they should be okay now. I don't know how much sanding and dirts went on, but they probably will need to be changed again as soon as all the final cleanup is done.
The warranty period as far as servicing these, not just your routine service? We have a refrigeration contractor. Would they take over that stuff after warranty?
Yeah, they should be able to handle it, no problem, after the warranty expires on these. But in my experience, I've been putting these in for about 15 years. Some of the first ones I put in are still running, and I've never had a single issue with them. And some of them I have some issues with them initially, a few bugs to be worked out, but then I have no problems with them after that. So they're very reliable. And if you guys like, we can go up in the attic space and I could show you that one, and then we can go in the other attic space and I could show you guys the HVR unit. This is our HRV unit. It's a heat recovery ventilator. And what it does, it recovers the heat from the exhausting air that's leaving the building and putting it in the air that's coming in the building. This is our on and off switch right here. Oh, we must have it disconnected. We'll turn it off for a second. I don't know what he did to that, but this right here is your access panel for your filters. This is your element that's going to have to be cleaned probably twice a year. This whole thing just slides out in cubes. There's your belt right there.
Okay.
That's it. Every motor's sealed on that. There's no grease in the bearings. The bearings are sealed.
Now you've got 4 of those total you got to pull out?
Yep.
Okay.
They're 4 sails, individual sails. They just slide out. And that's the heat recovery media. Maybe it's better with without the black light. And then right here are your filters, your pre-filters. Now those, I would check those once a month to begin with, and I would just feel it out either 30 or 60 days. Whatever you guys feel, that's enough. But got quite a few, you can see. I think it has a total of 8 filters in it. And all 3 of these are pretty much exactly the same as this one. All you've got is a belt, you've got this filter media that's got to be cleaned periodically, and this right here that's got to be cleaned. But yeah,
It's bearing down or just
yeah,
shutting down?
I think it's shutting down right now.
Okay.
And right in here.
Clean that filter.
This here?
Yeah.
What I would normally do, I just take them out, set them outside, and get a water hose, maybe some Dawn detergent, and just rinse them out and let them dry. Throw them back in there.
No. And you just keep this unit shut off for that entire time?
Yes, I would. Yeah, once you come up here to do that, just shut it off, let it shut down, pull your filter media out, check your belt, whatever else you need to do to it.
Okay.
But that's the most of the maintenance you're gonna have with this thing. And then right here is our control panel.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
This is our control panel. These are your VSDs, variable frequency drives. And here's a controller that also gives you some information about the system whenever it's have any, like when we had our high temp, says it right on here, high temp. Here's your manuals that'll walk you right through that controller. But as far as I know, these are going to be changed, and a new program is going to be installed by Johnson Control. So that's going to be different in the future. But it's basically the same. It's going to be the same the same unit. All right, this is our fan coil, just one of many up in this attic area. Here's your disconnect switch for it. The fan access is right here for the fan motor, and it's a little bitty fan in there. I've never had to replace one yet, but it could happen to you. On almost all these are going to have this filter set up just like this. That pops right off. You got a 30 by 30 by 2 in these. MERV 8 rated.
Are they all the same?
Yes, sir. I think they actually spec these filters. So. And that's pretty much it. Here's your condensate drain on these. And if you'll notice how high out it comes out of the unit, it has an internal pump inside of it. So if you ever have an issue with that, it does have a pump inside these for the condensate.
That's an important piece of that.
And pretty much that is the most important part, I think, is the filter there and your condensate here. So Other than that, that's pretty much it. There's really no maintenance to these other than changing the filters and looking at the squirrel cage periodically to make sure you're not getting any dirt buildup on the blades.
35.
What's the size of this filter, did you?
It's a 30 by 30 by 2 MERV 8 rating.
Is it set at an angle or?
Oh no, it's just right in there.
So how is it?
Comes right up the top.
30 by 30.
Oh, I don't know. They must have cut it down.
Yeah, that's 30 by 30.
No, it ain't.
Says 30.
18 by 8.
It's 9.5 by 19.5. You can call Camfield is what I would do, and give them the model number off of this thing. There's the part number right there.
It's got 2 of the elements. Different filters.
This one has 2 motors in it.
It's got 2 motors and 2 belts. Other than that, it's exactly the same thing. Just material. It's got the one
Now, belt-wise, any idea what the schedule would be on annual or?
I would do it once a year.
Okay.
I just look at them. If you have any glassing on the side of the belt itself, I would just replace it at that moment.
Okay. And is there a separate disconnect other than this?
Nope, that's your only turn off.
Okay.
I'm sure it goes to a breaker pedal somewhere, but this is your main turn off switch. If you want to turn it off, like I said, when you do turn this off, it's going to take it 2-3 minutes to shut down completely. When you turn it back on, it's going to take it 3-4 minutes to come back on.
Okay. And that's basically opening this valve, getting everything.
Yeah, it's got, I think it's got 2 or 3 damper modes it's got to open.
Okay. Right.
Close in sequence and then ramp up and down.
Okay. And this is what, just a flex connection here? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This right here, what we have is a Daikin, what we call a ceiling cassette. That's what they call it. But if you look right here in the back, it's got 2 little buttons. You can hardly see them, but they're right there and right there. And that thing just drops down.
Is your filter medium here?
Yep, and it's a permanent type filter, so you just pop it out, wash it out with a water hose, pop it back in. There's absolutely nothing in here you can work with. Now this does have a control panel here. It does have an LED display under there.
Okay.
That will give you a code, and like I said, you may have to go to DaikinDoctor.com or whatever to find out what that code
is.
is.
Word,
Yep,
lowercase?
yep.
Okay.
And that fan's direct drive, no oil, no maintenance with that. Oops. And then you just pull both those tabs back and let them pop back in there, and then that's it.
Oh,
Your filter's right there.
so we gotta cut the tape.
Yeah.
And is that a full-length filter or?
I'm pretty, yeah, yep. You'll just have to pull that one out and see what size it is.
There's a hinge on this side that's not taped over.
Yeah, you can pop them out of this side. What's probably going to happen is you're probably going to need access to both sides. Unless you got something you can reach in there and hook that thing with. All right, what we've got here, this is our standalone Aeon fan coil that hooks to that Aeon condenser on the roof. And like I said, our filter accesses are here and here. You may be able to get them both out of one, but you're probably going to have to pop both sides to get them out. Same thing with the other air handlers. It has a direct drive motor in it that's sealed bearings. And that's pretty much it. This is our condensate line coming off of it. You can tell it's pretty much all gravity. So that's pretty much maintenance free unless you ever have a clog. And that's pretty much it for this guy.